on into professionalism. Welcome to the presentation on employability skills. We are talking today about professionalism. I'm Evelyn Seiler. I'm the ICAT applicant outreach manager. With me today is Bernadette Duncan from the Math Squared and Miriam Klein, also from ICAT. Employability skills include communication, critical thinking, professionalism, and teamwork. Today we're going to be talking about professionalism. Professionalism, this workshop is designed to give you an idea of what is expected of you as a professional at your company. Professionalism as an employability skill is how you conduct yourself. This workshop will cover self-management, attitude, motivation, and self-confidence. Self-management. So self-management includes a couple different aspects. Work ethic is a big one. This is how you approach the idea of doing work and what you want others to think about how you do that work. Do you show up on time? Do you not call off a lot? Do you care that the job that you're doing is done in a professional manner, that you have done a good job with it? Another aspect is respect. Now, there are two aspects to respect. Self-respect, that you treat yourself respectfully. This is pride in your personal performance, appearance, and your workstation. So this reflects how you think about your work. Respect for others is treating others respectfully, and that's all your coworkers, those that are your peers and those that are your supervisors and bosses. It also includes any outside context that you have with your work. Self-management also includes thoroughness. How thorough are you when you're doing your job? Are you trying to cut corners? Are you trying to go too fast? You want to be very careful that you are meeting all the expectations that the company has set forth for that project. Competence. Now, this is how well you pride yourself on learning the job at hand. So taking the time to really get good at what it is you're going to be doing. Now, every task that you have to do may not be the task that you like, but you're responsible for being able to do all of them very well. And then dependability, being on time, calling in sick, meeting deadlines. Now, this is a big one because deadlines are set for a reason outside of you. These are work deadlines and you need to figure out how to meet those deadlines. And this is about how you manage your time, how you manage yourself to get to those goals. Your attitude. Attitude is a big one in professionalism. This is how you present yourself and how others perceive you. So a positive attitude is always taken very well. You all know someone who has a very negative attitude, and these are not people that you enjoy being around a lot. They can really drag down a situation and make work hard to get through. So keep a positive attitude. Even in the most difficult times, you can figure out a positive. All right, so I learned that didn't work. You do have to give yourself some permission to fail because we learn from failure. Yes, businesses are going to have limitations as to just how hard you can fail, but that you're learning from it is huge. Resilient. How do you bounce back from a difficult situation? How do you handle when something isn't being resolved as easily as you thought you might be able to? Your resilience is reflected in how you persist in trying to get that job done. Are you cooperative? Do you resist and be defensive around others? Are you open-minded? Are you open to those other ideas that you may not have thought about for whatever reason, but someone comes in with a different idea? Can you be open to and think about, all right, is this going to work? And really give it some thought and some consideration. And the last part of attitude is your willingness to learn. Now, this comes right up front because in an apprenticeship, that's what your job is. You are a worker who is actively learning that role. Motivation is another part of professionalism. How you push yourself to do what needs to be done. There are internal motivators, and this is very much about how you function and just who you are. Some people have a lot of internal motivation. Others need to talk themselves and coax themselves to get to certain tasks. I'll admit there are some tasks that I do not enjoy doing, and I may put them off as long as possible. But I find that, okay, if I just do that task and get it done, it's so much easier, and I've probably worried about it more than it would take to get it finished. External motivators. Now, these come in a variety of forms. It could be pay, it could be vacation time, it could be some other perk that you get, the praise that you get from a supervisor that you've done a job well. That's external motivation, and that can be very helpful. And figuring out what kind of motivation works for you is important, because if you're not getting that from your supervisor, you need to figure out how to either self-congratulate and let yourself know you've done a good job, or find someone who is able to give you that so that you can keep motivated. How do you motivate yourself in difficult situations? So we all come across difficult situations, one where either it's something that you failed at previously, so you have a lot of hesitation about trying to do it again, or a situation that it's just too new and it's that fear of failure pulls us back so much. So how do you face that? And that again is something that you have to figure out what works for you and what is productive in your work environment. Some motivation is goal-oriented. So if goal-oriented motivation is one of yours, then it's about what is the achievement that you're reaching to. Often you have a really big job, and if it's goal-oriented, that is part of what you are, a huge job is just too immense. So break it down into parts. Break it down into little sections so that you know, when I've done this part, all right, I'm partway there. So if making smaller goals makes it easier to reach that big goal, and it's not as intimidating. Another part of professionalism is your self-confidence. Self-confidence comes through, and you know people who are self-confident. And that's a matter of just being really comfortable with yourself, what you know and what you don't know. It's okay not to know things, and it's okay to ask people for help. So being comfortable with that reflects in your self-confidence. So self-confidence is positive belief or trust in your abilities. So as you're developing your abilities, your self-confidence will grow. Some people have self-confidence and don't know a thing, but they are very easily seen through. So make sure that you check your self-confidence. Self-confidence is speaking confidently and clearly, that you're not mumbling because you're afraid you're going to say the wrong thing. Self-confidence is not a superior feeling. You're not putting yourself above everyone and thinking that you know everything. Self-confidence is an inner quiet knowledge that you are capable, and it's not something that's going to tear someone else down. Your being confident and capable is not, it's not necessary to prove that someone else is worse than you. Everyone can be equally self-confident and capable, and how we lift each other up reflects on us and our own self-confidence. And your self-management. This is the awareness of your strengths and weaknesses. So how do you identify those, and how do you compensate for those? You have to know when to ask for help and when to give yourself more time to learn something. So in summary, professionalism is the employability skill, is how you conduct yourself. It includes self-management, attitude, motivation, and self-confidence. Take some time to work on these skills. Identify each of the skills and work on refining these skills in yourself by spending time in self-reflection about your interactions with others. Observe others and imitate those behaviors that you admire. Practice and intentionally use these behaviors. Ask others to give you some feedback on your actions.